Part 2, Chapter 3 of The Case of Charles Dexter Ward, we find a continuation of Ward's research. The year 1766 is significant for being the year that Joseph Curwen's behavior had changed. He becomes even more eccentric than he was. His slavery operations come to a halt. The nature of his imports have changed, and a ship carrying Egyptian mummies is suspected to be associated with him. At Curwen's farm, a new form of terrible cries are heard, and the recent rains uncover what appears to be both animal and human bones. Ezra Whedon and his friend Eleazar Smith have been watching him, and they suspect that Curwen has developed an elaborate system of tunnels. In Chapter 4, Whedon and Smith decide that it's time to reveal their discoveries and their suspicions. A conspiracy is formed in conjunction with a very strange incident in which a giant naked man has been found, dead in the snow. Curwen's mail is intercepted, and the letters they read come off as difficult to understand, though the implications are nefarious. The magnate John Brown takes charge of the conspiracy, of which the group has decided that Joseph Curwen must be eliminated. Chapter 5 introduces us to a raiding party. 100 men, led by Captain Abraham Whipple, storm the farm on the Pawtuxet Road, where the scene is marked by gunfire, the presence of a terrible stench, and clouded by strange fog. The event is overshadowed by a thunderous sound in the air, resembling the ominous echo of a person's voice. Soon we learn that Joseph Curwen's death has been announced, and that in the fields out by the farm, a body was found that looked neither human nor animal. In Chapter 6, it is revealed that 8 men had died in the raid. A coffin is delivered to Curwen's wife, which is said to contain his body, and she is forced by her father to resume her maiden name. The community endeavors to wipe out all traces of Joseph Curwen, and though his house in Olney Court remains standing, the Pawtuxet farm, throughout the years, ultimately succumbs to the ravages of time. After everything that we've learned with regard to the violence that went down at the Pawtuxet farm, Charles Dexter Ward may well have wondered whether any citizen of Providence killed Joseph Curwen. This is the key phrase that tilts our narrative, because Curwen was supposed to have been eliminated. It forces us to draw inferences about his character, and then deduce for ourselves what may have happened. We know that Dr. Checkley detected in Curwen a sinister undercurrent, and that Mr. John Merritt was put off by his facial expressions. We have it that for some reason, Joseph Curwen never seems to age, and that his book collection was a treasure house of lore in the doubtful realms of alchemy and astrology. We have reports that terrible cries are heard coming from his house on the farm, and there is espionage that points to the possibility of a series of freshly dug tunnels. We know that Curwen's imports grew to become very questionable, and that curious shafts of light have been seen emerging from the outbuilding. And we have the grisly evidence found which consist of human bones, in light of reports that people have gone missing. When we learn about the famous raid, all kinds of sulfurous smells are associated with thunderous voices in the air, and we learn of smoke and a red fog that follows on the heels of the incident, of which an actual fire was never documented. The incident is indubitably marked by the convulsive fright which at the same moment arched the backs and stiffened the fur of the Fenner's 3 cats. Then we have the messenger who tells us that the ordeal is all over and that we're supposed to forget that it ever happened. And the body of Joseph Curwen has been delivered to his wife in a coffin. But Ward is skeptical. Charles Dexter Ward may well have wondered whether any citizen of Providence killed Joseph Curwen. And so I ask, does Charles Dexter Ward have the right to be skeptical? I've put together this list of year dates to help us view Joseph Curwen's life in terms of the chronology as it's been presented.